Okay, guys, we are going to talk about credit reports. Okay, credit reports and credit scores. Okay, this is something when you get older that's going to be really important in your life. It has to do with how responsible you are with money and how people that are going to lend you money are going to view your responsibility. Okay, it's kind of like your money reputation. So let's talk a couple definitions. Okay, a lender, L-E-N-D-E-R, a lender is an organization. Okay, and it would be really smart of you to write this down so that you can have this on your assignment. So it's an organization or a person that loans or lends you money. Okay, so remember, you can pause this at any time and catch up. Okay, a lender is an organization or a person that loans or lends you money. So this could be a bank, okay? This could be like a credit card company, okay? This could be a lot of different people, all right? So a lender is someone who's going to loan you money, all right? So if you're buying a car, the bank that's going to loan you money for the car is going to be your lender. All right, so another word that we need to talk about is consumer, okay? We're all consumers. We're someone who purchases goods or services, all right? So a person that purchases, okay? Remember, purchases means buys when you buy it at the store. Purchases goods and services for personal use. So this is you and me. You know, we're both consumers. We're people that buy goods. Goods are like groceries and clothes and Xbox games and nail polish, and those are goods. Those are things that we can like hold in our hand that we buy from a store. Services are like oil changes with your car, going to get a manicure, paying someone to mow your lawn. Those are services, okay? So you're a consumer because you buy and you spend that money on those things. So let's get to credit history, okay? So your credit history is kind of a list of things that an agency will compile to figure out what your credit score is, all right? And so some of these things that are on your credit history, of course, is your full name, okay? They know your name, and they know your social security number, okay? If you don't know your social security number, you're going to know it definitely when you go to college or when you're older because you use it all the time. Every time that you are going to get a credit card or get a loan from the bank or apply for college or anything that has to do with money, they're going to attach that history to your social security number because you're the only person that has that specific number in the world, okay? So that is a very specific number to you. All right, so another thing that it's going to be on there is your employment, where you have worked, what jobs you've had, okay? So it could be the jobs. They're going to know where you worked, and they're going to know the money that you make at your job. They're going to know how much you made at that job. All right, so employment, that money that you make at your job is going to be called your income. It's incoming money into your bank account. Okay, they're going to know how much money you made. Another thing they're going to know is your address, okay, where you live. Where would they mail something to you? And they're also going to know where you bank, okay? They're going to know what bank are you using? Where are you storing your money? And they're going to know how much money that you have in that bank, okay? They're going to know how much money that you have in your checking account. All right, another thing that they're going to know is they're going to know how much debt you have. Okay, they're going to know how much money that you owe. So debt, D-E-B-T, that is how much money that you owe someone. Okay, that's money that you've been loaned, that you've been given, that you have to pay back. All right, so they're going to also know on that money that you owe, whether it's to credit card companies or to banks or whoever you owe the money to, and not your uncle. Your uncle loaning you $10 is not going to be on this report. Okay, that's between you and your uncle. The money that you owe, this is the money that you owe to banks and to credit card companies. All right, those are the ones that are going to be on your credit history. So they're also going to know if you have any late payments. Okay, so we talked about credit cards last week, and we said that at the end of the month, your bill comes in the mail. Well, let's say you don't pay that bill, and then you get another bill the next month. That's a late payment. That is going to be considered late. Just like in school, if you don't turn your homework in, it's considered late. So if you have any late payments, that's not going to be good for you on your credit history. They're also going to know what interest rate that you're paying, okay? If you are not a very responsible person, when you have a credit card, your interest rate may be really, really, really high. If it's really high, that tells a lender that maybe you are not very responsible with paying the money back that you're loaned, okay? So if you have a really high interest rate, that is a red flag or something that maybe your lender is going to look at on your credit history. All right, so on with your debt, okay, with credit cards, let me talk about this. A lot of people have kind of credit cards get a bad reputation because it is so easy to misuse them. It's easy to charge a whole lot of money and then get in trouble and not being able to pay it back. But if you are responsible, having a credit card is not the worst thing, okay? Building credit is something that you're going to have to do in order to have a credit history, okay? If you never get a bank loan or you never open a credit card, you're not going to have any credit history. So when the time comes to buy a house or whatever you're trying to buy, no one's going to know how responsible you are with your money, and that's kind of a bad thing too. So a good way to build credit is to open a credit card, okay? And this is only if you're responsible with your money, okay? Open a credit card, all right? And you're gonna make very small purchases, all right? Very small purchases. And then you are going to pay off your entire balance, meaning you're gonna pay the whole entire thing off every single month. And what that's going to do is that's going to show on your credit history that you're a very responsible spender. So when it comes to buy a house, they're going to look at your credit and say, okay, they've been paying their credit card on time. They don't have a lot of debt. That's going to look good for you, okay? So all of these things are on your credit history. So let's say I walk into a bank and I want to buy a car. And so I'm going to go into a bank and get a loan. They are going to search my name and my social security number. That's how the lender is going to search for me, okay? So when the lender searches, they're going to get my name and my social security number, and they're going to pull up my credit history, all right? And they don't have time to sit there and read through years and years and years of credit history. So what happens is, okay, and I'll take a picture of this to put, and I'll attach it to our assignment post. So what happens is there's these 3 agencies, okay? And they compile all of your credit history for a credit score. It's kind of like your grade about how good you are with money, all right? So there's 3 agencies, okay? And so they each have a little bit different way of finding your credit score. So your credit score might differ a little bit with each of these agencies, and then what they do is they average them to get one credit score. So with these 3 agencies, their ratings are a tiny bit different, all right? But, so I took all 3 of them and I did the best I could as far as trying to find a range for, we have excellent, we have very good, okay? We have good, We have fair, which is, it could be better, but it's not horrible. There's poor, which is pretty bad. And then we have very poor. Nobody's going to loan you money, okay, if you have this kind of score. So an excellent score is from 790 all the way to up to 850. Okay, it's about the best you can get. So if you have in the high 700s, that's pretty good. Okay, very good is going to be about 740 to about 789. Okay, somewhere in that range is very good. It's a good one to have. If you go into a bank, they're going to say, okay, we'll lend you money and we're going to give you a good interest rate. We're not going to charge you a whole lot of interest. Good is going to be 700 to about 739. That's still okay. All right. Fair is going to be about 650 to 699. A poor credit score is going to be 550 to about 649. And then very poor is going to be about 300 to 549. All right. So if something on your assignment asks, what is an excellent credit score? You're going to pick one that's somewhere in this range. Okay. And so, I don't know if your parents will share their credit score with you, but you might ask them. It's really, we're open with our kids about it, but you totally, if you ask your parents and they don't want to share it, don't push it, okay? And so one other thing that I wanted to talk about was kind of back to your lender. Things that you might need, okay, when you graduate high school, when you start getting a job, is a bank could loan you money for a house, a car, a boat, a jet ski, anything like that you're not going to have cash to pay for. Now, is it better to save your money and then pay cash for it? Absolutely. Yes. Okay. Another person that could be a lender for you is, let's say you want to rent an apartment. Okay. You're not ready for a house, but maybe you're in college and you want to rent an apartment. Okay. An apartment is at some, they're not a lender, they're not loaning you money, but they're kind of loaning you the apartment and trusting you to live there, okay? They're charging you rent. So they're going to run your credit score and get your credit history and figure out, are these people really going to pay rent to us? Or are they just going to, never have their bills on time? Do they have a lot of late payments? Things like that, okay? So when you rent an apartment, that's one thing when they might run your credit history or your credit score. All right, so one more thing that I wanted to go over just a little bit was right here. It says match the credit score with the credit history. So here you have your monthly income. This is how much money you make. Okay, we have these 3 scores. We have this one, which was considered very good. We have this one that was considered fair. And then we have this one that was considered poor, okay? So if we have monthly income, they make about $3,300 a month. They don't have any late payments. They have 0 credit card balance, which means they don't owe anything to the credit card companies. That's very good, no debt. And then they only have a loan or a card payment of $100 a month. That's pretty low, okay? That's pretty low with debt. This one makes $3,200, so just a little bit less than this. So we're not as much focusing on how much money they make as to how responsible they are with that money that they make. All right, so they have 3 late payments. This one has $5,800 on the credit card. They owe that much money to the credit card company. And they also have $650 a month on paying loans back. Okay, whether it be to the bank or to the credit card companies. That's a pretty big payment. Okay, that's a pretty big chunk of this. This person makes $2,800, doesn't have any late payments, only $1,000 on a credit card, and about $300 a month. So I'm looking at all of this as a whole, okay, not just how much money they make. So this one has no late payments, no credit card balance, and has very low debt. So I'm going to say that they have good credit, all right? This one right here has 3 late payments, and this one has none. This one has way more debt than this one, and this one has way more debt a month to this one. So I'm going to say that this one right here is going to look the worst. This one's at 650 and this one's at 600. All right. So hopefully that gives you enough about credit scores to answer and do your assignments.